this is your girl Sean. I'm back for another video. In this video today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a letter that was sent to me from one of you. It is a doozy. You definitely want to buckle up for this one. But in case you don't know it, I'm actually a life and dating coach and the author of 3 books. The first one is The Dating Game, How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right. My second book, Breaking the Man Code, The Key to Unlocking His Heart. And my third book, Getting Unstuck, How to Create the Life You've Always Wanted to Live. They're all available on Amazon, Kindle, BarnesandNoble.com. And if you want to work with me as your personal life and dating coach, or if you'd like to submit your letter for a chance to possibly have it featured in an upcoming video, be sure to send me an email to itscoachshawn@gmail.com. That's itscoachshawn, SHAWN, @gmail.com. I upload fashion videos, lifestyle videos, and of course, relationship advice videos like this one. All right, so now without any further ado, let's go get them. Hi, Coach Sean. I'm so sorry, but this is a really long letter. Earlier this year, I made an Instagram post about how I was trusting in God to bring me a man of my dreams if I had only prayed and trusted in God. Literally that same night, I got a DM from a handsome, successful man who would then go on to become my boyfriend. I looked at this as a sign from God. I lived in New York and he was in California, but that didn't stop us from falling in love. We talked for a month before he flew to New York to see me and asked me to be his girlfriend that same week. Yes, the week where we met each other was for the very first time. I met his whole family, his mom, his sister, his brother, his grandmother, girl, everyone. He also told me that he loved me. I was head over heels for this man, and my friends and family told me to watch out and be careful because we were moving way too fast. I ignored my family's pleas because I was in love. It felt so good to finally have a man to treat me the way that I've always dreamed of being treated. Now I'll fast forward to when things started to go downhill. I was in the process of moving to DC because I was going to start my first year of my PhD program at Howard University. I needed help looking for apartments, so I asked my boyfriend to come with me. After we returned from the trip, my boyfriend was supposed to meet my parents. Sean, our trip was horrible. We argued the whole way. He also hurt my feelings by making a comment about my butt being smaller than he would like. Around that time, my boyfriend's mother had been sick due to having a hernia, which I was very understanding of. But he was on the phone with her the entire trip. He said he was talking to family members to make sure his mom was okay. On our drive back to DC from New York, the car ride was so awkward. We didn't speak the whole time. He was on the phone with his family, so naturally, I didn't start any conversation. I thought I was giving him the space that he needed to take care of his family matters. And then I started to get lost while driving because the GPS was going in and out. He offered to drive, but I refused because he has a terrible tendency of driving while texting, and I didn't feel comfortable letting him drive. Good for you, girl. Anyway, he called me stubborn, and I told him I didn't like that. When we finally got back to New York, I dropped him off at his mother's house so he could go be with her to help her with her sickness. He was supposed to meet my parents the next day, so before I dropped him off, I confirmed with him that he was still gonna come, and he said yes. The next morning, 15 minutes before he was supposed to be at my house, he tells me that his mother is too sick and he had to cancel meeting my parents. While I understood that his mother was sick, I felt disappointed because this was the second time he canceled meeting them, and both times my mother had woken up at 5 a.m. and cooked and cleaned for him. My mother was so excited to finally meet the man that I had been talking about. Anyway, the next day I didn't hear from him. However, he was on Instagram posting. I had got hit by a car and called him and left a message, and he never got back to me. He was still on social media though. I literally had not heard from him for 2 weeks. Yes, I was calling and texting and wondering where the heck this man had gone. He just disappeared on me and had the nerve to still use social media. One day he finally returns my call and says that he's been avoiding me because he has too much going on, and I turned him off during our trip to DC. He said he didn't like being confronted about calling me stubborn, and he didn't appreciate that I didn't talk to him the whole car ride. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Why would I talk to somebody who's been on the phone? And how does someone just abandon a relationship because they were turned off? For the next 2 months, I chased after this man, so hurt and confused. He was the one who was planning to move to DC to be closer to me. He was the one who said that he loved me first. He was the one who was shopping for wedding rings. He was the one that introduced me to his family. After not speaking for 2 months, we decided that we were going to give the relationship another try, but Coach Sean, everything was different. He didn't say I love you anymore, and his responses were always so cold and short. I planned to take a flight to California to see him, hoping that would help our long distance relationship. I booked my trip on my credit card because I was struggling with funds and I could only book the trip for 2 days. Do you know that on my connecting flight while halfway to California, he called me to tell me to turn back around and fly back home because he wasn't in California. I was ticked. He said he was stuck at a conference in Florida. He told me to go home and that he'd visit me at another time. Coach Sean, during this time I was practically homeless and living out of my suitcase because my apartment had its roof caved in. I ended up flying to California so that I can retrieve my suitcase, but some magical power. When I landed, I got a call from him saying that he would pick me up in a few minutes. How did he go from Florida to California? The lie. I was so mad, but I couldn't do anything about it because I was halfway across the country. Let me summarize it from here because, girl, she goes on and on and on, but this one starts to get juicy. So he picks her up at the airport and she goes back to his place and he tells his girlfriend, the writer of the letter, that he has to leave at 3 a.m. to pick up his friend from the airport, his female friend. And so, you know, the writer says, no problem, I'll wait up for you guys. So the writer ends up sleeping in and at 9 a.m. he's still not there. So while he's not there picking up his female friend, the writer decides she's gonna do a little snooping and start looking around his things, and she finds adult toys and his belongings that she says he never used on her. So when he came home, she confronted him and said, what is all this about? This brother had the nerve to say, stop snooping through my things. It's none of your business. Girl, I'm mad for you. I'm hot as fish grease, okay? So anyway, the man in this relationship is 11 years older than the writer, and the writer is 25 years old. She's still head over heels in love with him, despite all the things that he's put her through, and she wants to know what should she do. First of all, okay, first and foremost, listen to Auntie Sean, okay? This man saw you coming. He knew that you were younger, and he was hoping to mold and make you into what he wanted you to be. Every single thing that he's done was a test. And I hate to break it to you, baby girl, but you failed over and over and over again. First of all, when that man told you that your butt wasn't big enough for him, that your butt wasn't his liking, first of all, telling you about something that you can't change, if I'm not your type, why are we even here? Okay? All of those things were in an effort to break your spirit, to break you down. Okay? He's happy that you were going to move to another city, that he could have more control over you. That's why he doesn't want to meet your parents. Typically, a man who doesn't want to meet your parents is somebody who knows that they're fake, somebody who knows they're fronting or phony, and they know that grown people can see through you. Grown people can see through a user, a liar, a player, a man 11 years older than you. He knew your mom and dad would be able to look at him for just a few minutes and be like, nah, that ain't the one. That's why he didn't want to meet your parents, okay? If I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. Always be leery of a man who's rushing the timetable. He was in a rush. What is he running from? After a month, he's telling you that he loves you. He wants you to be his girlfriend. He's picking out rings and all of this. What's the rush? If we're going to be together for the rest of our lives, if you can see you're forever in me, why can't we slow down just a taste to get to know each other? He wanted everything to be quick. And the whole idea of, you know, when you went out there to go see him, you know good and well that man was never in Florida. How you go from Florida to a few minutes later, I'll pick you up at the airport? And then you got a female friend who happens to be coming into town at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's probably his real girlfriend. And you are probably the one who he talks to who's long distance. It's easy for him to have more than one girlfriend when you're long distance halfway across the country. What I think happened there was he got his dates mixed up. She was coming in and you were coming at the same time, and he didn't know how to handle that. So he tried to tell you he was out of town, but he couldn't stop you. If he had stopped you, he would have never told you about the girl coming to visit that he had to go pick up at the airport at 3 a.m. This man is a player, and not a very good one. I feel like you already starting to begin to see that this man is full of lies. You already know that he's lying to you. You already know that he doesn't like you just the way that you are. You already know he's afraid to take the commitment. He's all talk. He was looking at wedding rings. Really? He'll tell you anything you want to hear. You said in the beginning that you were desperate to find love. You posted about it on Instagram. I hope the man didn't see your post, because all you were doing was giving him an invitation to come play you. I hope God sends me someone real. I hope God sends, you think you're talking to God, you're talking to him. No, you got Miss Sean in here mad for you, okay? I'm not mad at you, I'm mad for you, because he's raggedy. He's raggedy, he's not worth your love, not worth the time, the energy, everything you've invested in him. With your little bit of coins you flew out there on your credit card to go see him, and he's gonna lie about even being in town? This man is a player. He has multiple women. The female friend that came out of nowhere, I bet you never even heard about her before. He didn't want to tell you until he absolutely had no choice, and then had the nerve to get mad when you did a little snooping. You're his girlfriend. People who have nothing to hide have no problem being open. He knew he had lots to hide. This man is a player and probably got chicks in different area codes. You were his New York hottie. He probably got one in every other state. I'm sorry that you managed to get caught up and that you wanted love so bad that you kind of manufactured it. He was saying all the right things at the right time, but he was the wrong guy. God hit warning sign after warning sign. The man canceling on your parents twice, saying he didn't like your body, like being short with you, giving you an attitude the one time you stood up for yourself and say, I don't like you calling me stubborn. Then all of a sudden he wants to shut down. Then he realized that he wasn't going to be able to control you like he wanted to. And then it turned him off. He wants a project. And you had a little bit too much backbone for him. But that's not a bad thing. You want to have backbone. Anyway, like you said, you talked about the sex toys that he never used on you. When were you having sex with this man? So you didn't say all that. As long as this letter is, you never told Sean that you was having sex with this raggedy, uncircumcised Philistine. Okay? To get all biblical with the shade. Girl, who is this raggedy dude? Probably has women all over the country. Let him go. Ask God to help you to see him for what he truly is. Ask God to take away all these feelings that were built on lies. Ask God to replace them with true love. Never be this open publicly on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Because the wrong guy can see that, and all of a sudden you thinking that it's God because of the timing. And it's not. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and he saw what he thought was a weakness in you, and he did what a wolf would do. He preyed on that. You're not a bad person because you want love, but the wrong person will take advantage of that desire. And I pray that you're stronger and you're able to properly identify when somebody is not the right person for you, because there were signs all throughout this letter. I'm sure you guys have heard the saying that love is blind. Love is also colorblind. That's why she couldn't see these red flags. But we've all been there where we've been blind and colorblind because we wanted what we wanted so badly that we didn't want to see what was right in front of our faces. All right, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to thumbs up if you did. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on life and love, consider purchasing one of my books. As I said, I've written 3. The first one's called The Dating Game, How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right. My second book, Breaking the Man Code, The Key to Unlocking His Heart. And my third book, Getting Unstuck, How to Create the Life You've Always Wanted to Live. They're all available on Amazon, Kindle, BarnesandNoble.com. And if you want to work with me as your personal life and dating coach, or if you'd like to submit your letter for a chance to possibly have it featured in an upcoming video, be sure to send me an email to itscoachshawn@gmail.com. That's itscoachshawn, SHAWN @gmail.com. I know this video was filled with tough love, but I'm not angry at her. I'm mad for her that she let this raggedy dude get away with so much for so long. And anybody who's been watching my videos can understand where the passion actually is. Nobody's mad at her. I don't even know her, okay? But I'm mad at him. I'm mad at him. I love you guys. If you like this video, be sure to check out my previous one right here, and be sure to subscribe right here. I'll wait. Thanks, boo. All right, love you guys. See you in the next video. Till next time, later, divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.